Hello and welcome. This is our episode today. We're going to be talking about what happens um, when America continues to express how it really feels about California and Californians finally begin to wake up to what that means. So today's episode is about this. America hates California and California finally gets it. Now, what are the statistics that we're talking about? Well, it's going to be this one right here. I want to direct you to the poll on the left that came out recently, October 16th to the 21st. 63% of all Californians believe that California is treated worse than any other place in America. So, about 2/3 of the population of California thinks that we are treated worse than anywhere else in America. We are the subject of Republicans' hate worse than any other place. Now, that's something Calix has been saying for over 10 years. Now, 2/3 of Californians are finally there. I also want to point out the survey from just last year. That's right. Only a year ago, 48% of all Republicans said they believe all Californians is not really American. So last year, half of the Republican Party said everybody in California is not American. And then this year, about just a few weeks ago, 2/3 of Californians said they believe California is hated more than any other state in America by far. Let's take a look at that poll in detail. California compared to other states. It came from Perception of the State of California from the Los Angeles Times. The poll was taken January 26th to 28th, 2024. Now, that's where that percentage of 48% of Republicans believe California is not really American comes from. But there's some other additional statistics that are problematic for California. So take a look at this one. 67% of Republicans believe that California is a net negative to America as a whole. 48% believe Californians are not American, and a much larger percentage, 2/3, almost 70%, believe California has no positive effect on America at all, or nothing but a negative thing. That's 67% of the Republicans think we're nothing but negative. Let's take a look at this poll here. Would not ever consider moving to California under any conditions, 83% of Republicans. Now, here's another one. When California is compared to Texas, 52%, a majority of Americans say I would rather live in Texas and believe that Texas better reflects my values, compared to Florida, 52%. So when Americans, on average, are asked what place represents their values more, Texas or California, over half say Texas. When they're asked about what state represents your values, Florida or California, over half say Florida, not California. Now, here's another thing in the statistics I wanted to point out. If you look at people over the age of 55, and then you compare it to every other age group, people over 55 have the worst opinion about California. I was wondering if it's in the South or the West or the Midwest, or it's a female or a male thing, or a white thing. It's really an old thing. People over 55, net negative, highest percentage in demographic breakdown, negative opinion in California. Here's another one. 55. Other states should avoid California, 52%. 91% of everyone over 55 would never consider moving to California, worse than Republicans. So Republicans hate California, but it seems like people over 55 hate California more than anything. So there's the poll numbers again, 55, 55. And here's where that gets interesting. In Congress right now, the average age of a person is 56 in the House and 62 in the Senate. The most represented age groups in Congress are people 50 to 80. So most people in Congress are 55 years of age or older. 55 years of age people hate California and think that we're garbage, worse than Republicans. And with Republicans, it's really bad. How does this all fit in? Well, we need permission to leave from Congress. 25 states need to allow us to go. 31 states voted for Trump. Here's the great thing. If Republicans hate us and people over 55 hate us, and the majority of Congress is people over 55, then we can definitely get the votes to leave, because Republicans hate us and old people hate us, and Congress is full of Republicans and old people. That's why I was showing these statistics. I mean that we can easily make this vote. Now, the thing is that you need to know this is not a fluke. Here's an example. So Republican bashing of California was so popular in 2024 last year that LA Times had to do an article on it by Noah Berman. And then if you go back even further, 2020, the LA Times had to note that the Republican Party convention painted California as a dangerous example of the anti-America. So this isn't new. This poll comes out here. 2025, 63% of Californians say America hates us more than any other place. 2024, 48% of all Republicans say California's bad and not American. Then you can come to this, 2024, Republicans have to bash California to make it. Then you can go back further in time to 2020, where the Republican Party paints California as the opposite of good America. Then you can go even further back to the year 2013, where the LA Times had to point out that basically if you're a Republican, you must hate California. That's what that article in 2013 is saying by Ted Rall. Then you can go back to 2012. Americans love to hate California. Public Policy Polling Institute said Republicans absolutely despise California. 68% of Republicans had a horrible opinion of California. That goes back to 2012. Doesn't stop there. This goes back to 2013. And, this is the point. There's Limbaugh, there's O'Reilly in 2013, and they were saying California is horrible. It's the anti-America. It's going to ruin America. Fast forward to 2025. Donald Trump sends artillery rounds over the 5 freeway. He was told, please don't do that. People could get hurt. We need to shut down the freeway. Trump said, no, we don't need to shut down the freeway. Gavin Newsom did it anyways. What happened? Fragments from the shells fell down. So people in California could have gotten killed by the artillery rounds shot over the 5 freeway recently for no real reason. Didn't have to happen. And what I want to show you is that when you look at this, this is a long time coming. California was the bad guy in 2013 from these top 2 Republicans. Okay? Nobody was even talking about Trump then. In 2018, Trump comes on. California's out of control. Next time he comes back, they're shooting artillery rounds on us. Before that, 2012, 2013, hate California. That's what Republicans do. And you can even go back to 2008 when California was allowing gay marriage. And basically, people on the religious right were saying, you reap what you win. So if California gets destroyed or horrible things happen in California, it's because we are out of line with American values and therefore horrible, nasty people. So this is not new. This is a long time coming. The Republicans have always hated on California. There's a long history, and it's just for us. And finally now, after over a decade of hate, a majority of Californians recognize it. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.